Right, well, Bill's back. Bill Oddie is here to present the prize in our two-minute turn student comedy competition. We're meeting the winners. They're very nervous. We're over in the wings at the moment.
I'm very nervous. Introduce them to the funny students here. They're going, what a build-up, eh?
They're going to have to be terribly fun. We haven't even seen the sketch yet. We do see the sketch a bit later. He's also selected a few of your own favourite kind of comedy. You've got quite strong taste in comedy now.
Well, and my main assertion is that there's an awful lot of it. I think when I get people in my generation saying things like, you know, there just isn't that much funny these days, it's because they're kind of lazy, I think, because there's so much these days that they really can't sift through it. I think when I was going, there was only, like, you know, maybe the Goodies and Python and Two Ronnies or something like that, doing wacky, zany stuff or whatever we lump it as, non-sitcom type stuff. So it was very easy. You can say, well, I like that and I like that. And they can only remember those poor old souls. You know, if they actually get around, switch the channels around a lot, there's an enormous amount of extremely good stuff.
You still write a lot? You still write a lot of those?
Not as much as I'd like, is the answer to that. You rather hurt me now by asking that, actually. But,
oh, sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to be on more, doing more. Yes, yeah.
I thought, but I mean, we are talking about comedy, but I mean, your interests have turned a lot in the direction of conservation, haven't you? Because we talked to you about this before.
I don't talk about that. You know, it's one of the subjects I don't talk about. No, you don't want to talk about that.
No, we don't.
No, you don't. I talk about comedy.
All right, well, tell you what. Let's see your first clip. We've got a clip here of French and Saunders, who we think were brilliant too. Let's just see them in action.
Oh, do I have to comment on each one? That was very good.
That was very good.
I give them 7 out of 10. Let's have the next contestants, please.
I thought, no, they are so... I think Dawn French just is so... Just look at the way she
looked in that. Don't say that. Don't leave her out.
No, I'm not. No, I think they're both brilliant in very different ways. I mean, do you like them when they're performing individually as much as together?
Yes. I count myself very lucky of having seen some of these people, sounding awfully avuncular now, sort of come up and change as they went along. Because I remember going to the Comedy Store, I think it was, or no, the Comic Strip, Comedy Store, one of the two, Comic Strip, and seeing them very early on when they were doing what was their equivalent, I think, of, you know, student sketches, if you like, and which only shows how high you can rise when you're a funny student.
What I think they've got this wonderful deadpan style, haven't they? I mean, a lot of the humour's delivered absolutely straight, you know.
They're good actors, good actors and actresses. I think it's one of the interesting differences. You get some people who, frankly, are not that good actor or actress, but they are funny people for one reason or another. Those two are obviously brilliant actors and actresses, and there's a lot of people amongst the so-called relatively new people, i.e. the 30-somethings or whatever they are, I should imagine by now, who are actually extremely good actors and actresses, and they do appear in straight things, and they're equally good when they do.
And some of them, of course, are completely mad, like the next one. Totally off the wall. I remember seeing a sketch he did. It creased me up for days afterwards in Q7, in one of the first editions, where all he did was he jumped over a wall, and he landed with both feet on a cat and squashed it.
That makes me laugh already.
And this window opened and this woman's head came out and she just said, "You bugger!" And that was it. That's all it was. That was the sketch. It was terrible.
That's how I feel about cats too, actually. Cruelty to cats always makes me laugh, basically. Get the letters in now for that one. I mean, what I think is important about Spike, and when I was watching that South Bank show, which I'm sure we probably watched the last couple of weeks, I was a bit sad that he was left out. It's difficult because you try and get so many people in, but it's a very important link there between, if you like, relatively traditional type humour and completely ridiculous stuff. And he was very important, I think, in opening the eyes of BBC and whoever to allow people to be silly.
And surreal.
You know, and totally surreal, yes. I'm sure the Python people would, you know, would admit a great debt to him, for example.
Harry Seacombe was talking to us about the Goons a while ago, and he said that he felt they all rode on the coattails of Spike's genius in terms of the writing and everything, and Spike paid the price in terms of his, you know, emotional stability.
Which comes first? I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure that's probably true, but I mean, they've all paid a bit of a price. Peter Sellers didn't do too well, did he?
Absolutely.
You know, so, you know, they were tortured geniuses, and he still is. And I'm very sorry to hear he's not too well again, actually.
Yes, he's
I hope he's all right. Well, he dropped out of Panto very wisely, in my opinion.
Well, if you're watching Spike, stay well.
Absolutely, right. We got a clip of Ben Elton, another of your favourites now.
I mean, what you're talking with Ben Elton is amazing prolificness, and I don't think that's one we should ever forget, because I do get people say, I can't stand him, because, I mean, his own persona as a performer I mean, I can see that some people don't like it. Well, he's a very nice bloke, but I can see that people don't like it. And I think he's very aware of it. He says himself he just goes very, very fast because he don't want anybody to get in with a heckle or anything. He just, you know, it's fear that does that. But it comes over as sort of aggressive and cocky. But don't ever forget the stuff that he's written as well. And tune on tonight and watch Stark. There's a plug.
I think Ben Elton is a genius. There's no doubt about it. Both in his delivery and in his...
Although intrinsically, you know, not in the sense that Spike Milligan is a funny man. And Ben, we shall find out whether he can act. The evidence so far has been lamentable, but it'll be very interesting to see. You know, he get great reviews for his acting tonight, so let's, I look forward to that.
Well, look, I mean, there is, you were saying there are far more outlets for young comics, partly thanks to Channel 4, I think. They run so many of those shows.
It's partially, I think, what has happened. It's one of the accidental good offshoots of cutbacks and money problems, that stand-up comedy is relatively cheap, and that's not a bad thing, and you're going to see more and more of that.
All right, well, listen, I mean, we've given some access to, as well, to all the universities and colleges out there with this competition we ran a few weeks ago. In true competition tradition, there was, of course, only one winner, and they are in a joint university collaboration. Graham Avent from Manchester University and John Money from Goldsmith College, London. Yeah, cool.
Avent and Money.
Yes, Avent and Avent. Avent, I knew I'd get it wrong. Which is, who's the Avent man? You're the Avent man, right.
Yeah,
so, John,
well,
congratulations, well done.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And you two, although you're at different universities, you were... Now, which one of you was at Goldsmiths?
John. Me, I'm
guilty.
Yes.
You graduated.
Yes.
You're still at Manchester.
I'm still,
but you've actually been mates, what, for years and years and years, school days?
Too many years. Too many years, since about 10. Something hideous.
Were you mates with the other goodies as well, before?
I was at university with them. I didn't go to school. They went to posh schools. They went to proper posh schools, public schools. It's perfectly obvious. Actually, I went to the best school in the country. It was at the top of the league the other week. Yes, I won't bother to plug it.
What was it?
Oh, you don't need to know. Talk to these two. They're the important people, not me.
I'm interested in schools.
So friendship's important then, isn't it? I mean, to key in to the other person's...
It's rapport, isn't it? It's rapport.
Rapport.
Yeah, and in the writing.
Yeah.
You've both got incredibly serious faces.
Scared to death. I've never been on telly before. I suddenly realised that staircase goes nowhere.
It doesn't, no. The spiral staircase goes straight to the ceiling. You've been lied to for 6 years.
My illusions are shattered.
Well, listen, you sent in... we had a panel that went through... We had hundreds of entries. Some were just sketches that people wrote, and some were sketches that people sent in on home video. And yours was the best, basically, by common consent. I thought it was very funny. And you're going to be performing it for us later. But what are your plans? I mean, is this just literally for a laugh, or is this going to be your career? Because you're both drama... Well, you're a drama graduate, and you will be graduating next year, I'm sure.
You both are?
Yes.
That's actually quite unusual, because I think what was interesting about a lot of university-based people were that they weren't studying anything to do with performance, you know. I certainly wasn't. Most of my friends were.
Ben Elton was doing maths, wasn't he?
Engineering.
Yeah, but there weren't that many drama courses then, in your days. I mean, there weren't. I mean, the big explosion in drama courses at universities kind of came... Well, I suppose late 60s, was it? I don't know.
I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know anything about it.
But you want to go professional, basically.
Yeah,
so you're hanging around working in a pub, basically, waiting for him.
I'm waiting. I'm treading water. Is it lovely? Having a tear to your
Waiting for
eye.
him to come home, basically. That's good.
How do you see yourselves? A kind of Morecambe and Wise figures, double act, somebody said to me. You really admire them.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much variety. Sort of old-time variety.
Right.
Yeah.
Family
Dick and
stuff.
Bob.
They can bob. No, one of you hate... No.
So it's not what we used to call in the mid-80s alternative humour at all. It's kind of mainstream...
Variety humour.
Variety humour.
Well, give them the
we do
check.
sketches on at the universities, and we tend not to be classed as kind of student comedy. It's more traditional.
Good.
Yeah.
Going towards a family audience, to be
There's a
honest.
niche in that. We got a check for you.
All right.
But it's
Well, it's not actually for you.
No.
I don't think it's for you.
It's for Manchester University's...
The funny students branch of the Manchester University Community Action. So they need all the help they can get.
Okay.
Great.
Well, thank you for presenting that, Bill. That's £1,000. Well done. Congratulations. And also, you're going to be appearing... You've been on the back of this win. You can sit down again.
I can't hurt myself. I'm not sitting there with that thing jabbing into me, no.
You're going to be performing at Leicester Comedy.
Did you know that?
Did you know that?
You have been invited.
The Leicester Festival of Comedy have invited you to do
Which is
some
hosted
stuff.
by Tony Slattery.
Tony Slattery.
Oh, fabulous.
So they have selected you.
Did you not know that?
No, I didn't know.
Good.
No, you've really frightened me.
That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. No, it's in February. When is it? I don't know. It's next year sometime.
I don't know when it is.
We'll give you the
Next year
date.
sometime. Right, well, look, Graham and John will be performing their winning sketch. It's very odd, this. I know you haven't seen it, but it is very funny. They're performing their winning sketch at the end of the show. We're taking a quick break, and in a minute we've got Susan Hampshire with flower arranging tips in Cut and Dried. See you in a minute.